Well, General Motors' Mary Barra is facing a barrage of criticism this afternoon. She met with Ohio representatives on Capitol Hill to explain why the automaker plans to close 4 U.S. plants and lay off nearly 14,000 employees. Joining us now is Ohio Republican Congressman Bill Johnson, who just finished meeting with Barra. Congressman, what can you tell us about what happened in the room?
Well, I can tell you that, first of all, David, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. It was a pretty somber meeting. It was a bipartisan meeting. Of course, I represent a district that borders the district with Representative Tim Ryan. Many of my constituents work at that Lordstown facility that has been identified by GM as unallocated starting in 2019. And, Mary Barra, the CEO, was very forthcoming in explaining what she believed to be the rationale that she and the GM authorities went through to make this decision. I'm not going to tell you that it satisfied us. I can't speak for the other members, but there's still some things that I question about how this decision was made. Her main point was that they have an overcapacity, and that they've got capacity that they've got to shrink in order to maintain their profitability and prepare for products of the future. And you don't get overcapacity overnight. How this happened over a period of years without some corrective action being taken is beyond me. I was in the automotive industry before I came to Congress, and as a supplier to all of the big three automobile makers and other transportation manufacturers throughout the country. And so I know what those operating reviews are like, and I know how much planning and market analysis goes into business decisions. So how they wound up at that point is beyond me.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what is the possibility that we find a way forward here that satisfies GM's issues? And why don't they just bring these cars that they want to build, the self-driving cars and stuff? I'm sure you went over that with her. Is there any chance that these conversations that are taking place is going to make a difference in their plans?
Well, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. She couldn't commit to that because they have union contract negotiations that she has to be sensitive to. So I'm not going to tell you that she gave a lot of hope. In fact, she said she didn't want to give false hope. She did mention the future of autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles. I can tell you that in the case of Lordstown, what is frustrating to me is that the big reason why I'm being told that they can't just drop another product line into that very, very capable facility with a very, very capable workforce is because of the size of the paint booth. And it appears that when they decided to make the cruise some 8 to 10 years ago and put a new paint booth in there, they invested millions into a paint booth that'll only work with one automobile.
But, Congressman, let me just ask you a simple question here. Yeah. Do you really think that politicians inside the Beltway know more about how to run the business than she does?
No. And I wouldn't suppose that. And you do have, in all fairness, and I get that. I think that's a very fair question. I don't think the federal government ought to be running GM or any other company. But you do know the federal government, at the taxpayers' expense, bailed GM out. And this is sort of a slap in the face of the people in Ohio that were some of those taxpayers that participated in that bailout. Yeah. So you've got people like me.
But Congressman, the money has been paid back. The government invested in GM and sold those shares, I guess, at a loss. The quote, I think that's the money that President Trump wants to get back. But to David's question, I understand as a resident and your constituents are losing jobs. I definitely understand that. But beyond that, the fact that GM is free now why is it the government's business what GM does? I understand they're interested in what GM does, but why should you be calling Barra or any other executive of an Ohio industry in for hearings?
I didn't call her in for a hearing. She volunteered to come in for a hearing.
Okay, but you understand, she volunteered for a reason, obviously.
Hey, listen, wait a minute. You just got through saying that the shares were sold at a loss, and that is true. That's a matter of record. That's the American taxpayers bailed out GM, and now GM. You don't see any other automotive company doing what GM's doing. Why isn't Ford doing this? Why isn't Chrysler doing this?
Congressman, we got to leave it at that. I wish we had more time, but we don't. When we thank you very much for coming in, Congressman Bill Johnson, great to have you here.